Okay, the next one is another hot topic, and this is privacy. And the question reads: This is from a viewer who emailed in, so thank you very much for doing that. Is this a police matter in terms of drone flight, i.e., privacy? Should a police officer be involved in this type of call?
Okay, so I think that the short answer is could be. It could be something the police should be involved in. Privacy generally, invasions of privacy, breaches of privacy, they are not police matters, they're not criminal matters, very heavily on the civil side, but it's quite a small step in some cases for that to become a criminal matter and to become therefore something that police should be involved in. Now that could be voyeurism, it could be things under the Terrorism Act, it could be a variety of other things, could be harassment. So generally, as a general rule, if we're talking about that privacy matter, that's not a police issue, but there could be a lot of other things wrapped around that that suddenly do make it a police matter. So I think you'd have to look at the overall circumstances of exactly what we're talking about. If the police are going to be called, then there's going to be a reason that the police have been involved. And one of the police's jobs there is to identify whether any criminality has taken place, and if so, to deal with that, or actually to resolve that there isn't any criminality taking place. I've said it already, but I think one of the issues here is that people don't understand actually how much is allowed under legislation, under drone legislation, for where drones can fly, certain types of drones over other people's property, etc. People are very happy to see a hot air balloon. They're very happy to see a paraglider. But if you turn that into a drone, suddenly people start picking up the phone and phoning the police because they're just not in the same place in terms of their understanding of what Parliament has made available. So yeah, that's the long way of saying, as a general rule, privacy is not a police matter, but it could be, and I think that's probably where I would go
If
there.
it triggers into other things, etc. So yes, I mean, I've had viewers email me in scenarios such as they've flown over a neighbour's garden, they've called the police, nothing happened, but actually they've done it again and again and again, and the police have warned them that it's starting to border on harassment because you're aware that it's causing annoyance, etc. And so again, the police there were not acting until they saw.
Yeah,
Essentially triggering something else, really, isn't it? As you say, like
yeah, and I think
voyeurism or
so.
harassment.
And I think in cases like that, it might be that is where the courts need to step in and make a decision about how that should be approached, not just by the public, but also by the police. So that body of cases, that body of evidence that's been through the courts is going to help. I think there are questions around that. You know, when does something become harassment? Does it engage any of the other legislation that the police deal with more generally? It is going to take time for everybody to understand that, but that's, yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, and we do have to deal with the. I have a very old video now. Actually, it's nearly 3 years old. Can't believe I've been doing it that long. Which is actually, can you take off from your garden? And one of the things that I talk about in there is getting up quickly and then then flying off. Obviously, you're going to have to keep the thing in line of sight anyway, but not necessarily going over people's gardens at 10 feet, just above fence level, etc. But I also, if you get on with your neighbours reasonably well, or perhaps you don't even know them, personally, I actually put leaflets through everybody's doors to let them know that I own a drone. It was just a little handwritten note that I then photocopied, said I own a drone. You may see it taking off from the garden. I'm not recording whilst I'm taking off, etc. And so yeah, and in fact, I only fly mine in my garden to test them after updates, etc. So I actually explained that, and that's it. I've never had any problems. And so, because when people see a drone, particularly if they're in their garden or something, it is something that they know has a camera, and of course they don't jump to that, oh, that's somebody flying their drone taking a picture of the beautiful hills behind me. Of course they jump to the horror thing of that, they're trying to film me and my family in our garden, etc. So it's about that happy medium, isn't it? Striking that happy medium when
It is.
and thinking.
I think, from a purely policing perspective, we police the law. The law is given to us, and that's what we enforce. So absolutely, very reasonable suggestions on ways you can manage that and ways you can, just put people's mind at rest in your local vicinity. It's not a legal requirement, but it might help.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very much.